Hello, everyone, and welcome to the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resort. We're your hosts, Dominick Dougherty and Drew Fasy.
And we are your funky local guys.
Well, welcome to this episode, everyone. We're on a new platform here at Riverside. Truth be told, I set this up about 3 minutes ago, if you can't tell. So that's why we got some new music here. But joining us today are two members of Ocean City football legacy. We got Coach Kevin Smith and Coach Sean Matthews. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today.
What's up, fellas?
Thanks for coming on, guys.
Awesome. Well,
1 week before the opening kickoff. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, a lot.
Coach Matthews has two small children and is the new head coach of the football program. So he's got plenty of free time now to share with everybody.
He does.
Yeah, just constantly putting out fires.
Kevin, with that said, you stepped down from teaching. You stepped down as the head coach after 13 seasons, I believe it was. As the head coach?
14 years, yep.
14 years as a head coach. So that's why you look a lot more relaxed, a lot more free here, a little bit more of a smile on your face. So congratulations on that tenure, taking the Red Raiders to the playoffs for 8 straight years to finish that out. And, the cool thing about it, I think, is that Sean has been right there with you for how long now, Sean?
13 years, 13 out of the 14.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. So, it's while the program is a sense changing hands, Sean, what do you take from, your time working with Coach Smith?
I've said this before. I'll say it again. Hopefully I don't make Coach Smith blush. But I owe him a lot. He gave me, an opportunity to start a career in Ocean City. He gave me the opportunity to earn a teaching position. When at that time, 13 years ago, there really wasn't any. Being a health and physical education teacher, we're a dime a dozen. So there's a lot of guys going for not so a lot of positions. We had a great meeting, hit it off pretty well. He needed a football coach to help him out. I fit that, that thing that he was looking for. So got a chance to come down, interview, earn the position. I wouldn't be in the position that I was today if it wasn't for Coach Smith. So owe him a lot.
It's awesome. And now, Kevin, you may have stepped down as head coach. You're still with the team, though. That's correct, right?
Yeah, still slugging away. I went to Sean in the winter when I was pretty decided that I was going to wrap up my teaching career, and I had an opportunity to do something else. 33 years of teaching, loved it. But, 33 years of anything, and you get an itch for something else. I had an opportunity to work in the media world here. This Riverside platform is now something I'm very familiar with. And I went to Sean and I said, hey, listen, I'm really seriously considering stepping down. And if you get the head coaching job, would you keep me on staff? And I didn't want to impose, because as the head coach for a long time, I understood that there could be some awkwardness there with trying to figure out, just the pecking order, and I thought, hey, maybe Sean's going to want to make his own mark and he won't want me there for a little while. And I would not have been mad if that had been the case. But he said he'd love to have me back. And so now I'm helping run the offense, and really excited to be a part of Sean's staff now that we got a little role reversal going on.
So Sean, you were a defensive player, right, when you played?
Yeah, I was.
So you stepping in and running the defense for Kevin was kind of a natural fit. Are you still the defensive coordinator and head coach?
No, so I've given up the defensive play calling in that position. We got a really, really, really experienced staff at Ocean City. And, we have 5 guys on staff that were former head coaches, including Coach Smith. And our defensive coordinator is one of those guys. So, if I learned anything from Coach Smith, you better let good football coaches coach. or they're going to be on somebody else's staff, in the near future. So very confident in our new defensive coordinator this year, Jimmy Haratopoulos. We worked really, really closely together last year. He was our secondaries coach, so he works with the safeties and the cornerbacks. So, my responsibilities have changed a little bit from a football standpoint. I'm a big fundamentals, like tackling guy. So, I dissect that, pretty intensely. And then I'm going to focus on coordinating the special teams. So that'll be that'll scratch my football itch and, give the opportunity for other coaches to, take control of their sides of the ball and, work their magic with our players.
So I have to go from Matthews to Haratopoulos.
Otherwise,
how'd I do on the first go?
That's pretty solid. Otherwise known as Coach H. That's what I tell the kids. I say, hey, go see Coach H.
I think I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah.
You need a good nickname for him other than Coach H. We'll come up with something, I'm sure.
So here we are, end of August, and we're about a week away from opening day. You guys start the season at home. At the Battle of the Beach, the only day that Battle of the Beach is being played in Ocean City. You're opening up against Oakcrest, right? Before we get to that game, I know that there's only one game in Ocean City for Battle of the Beach this year because the Catholic League has leased Carey Stadium for a number of years, and it's this week. It happens to be this weekend. Do you know what we can expect moving forward with Battle of the Beach?
After this year, it will be the first week of the season will not fall on Labor Day. That's been the conflict the last 2 years, is that the first week of the football season in New Jersey, what we call week 0, has fallen on Labor Day the last 2 years, which has required the city to try to do a juggling act with the field. And ultimately what they decided to do was to do one day of Battle at the Beach on Thursday, and then the Friday, Saturday games, as you mentioned, will go to the Catholic League teams because they've been coming here for 20-some years, and the city didn't want to break that contract with them. So next year, however, week 0 will fall before Labor Day, and we're anticipating anyway, to get all 3 days of Battle at the Beach back here because there won't be that conflict with the Catholic League's teams.
Awesome. Now, we're talking about Battle of the Beach. It's a pretty cool way to open a season for anybody. Especially, everyone talks about the location of Carey Stadium, how you get to play football right on the beach. But Battle of the Beach has grown. It's starting to bring some major high school football talent in. Tell us a little bit you got Oakcrest, but there's 2 pretty big games after you guys. What are you excited about to see in those games, and let us know who's playing? If you want to take those, Coach Matthews, we'll throw them to you.
So I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to fumble what the matchups are. I know we got IMG coming up from Florida, which is, it's their
play Winslow.
Okay, so they're playing Winslow Township, which is arguably the best public school in New Jersey. So you get to see IMG's travel team, so they go all over the country playing the best of the best. And then after that, you got your East St. Louis Flyers coming out east here to play Bergen Catholic. Again, arguably top 1, 2, 3 in the state. They play up in that that big North Catholic League up there, and they got some really good football players, some really great coaches, and you're going to be looking at a lot of future, Division One AA, high quality football players in those games. It's really, you're kind of, I don't want to say starstruck, but you're definitely, in awe of some of the bodies you see out there and the way these kids and how big they are and how well they move and how well they're coached at such a young age. Great 2 games lined up, a lot of fireworks, and after our game at the 1 o'clock slot, looking forward to seeing those teams get after it and, watch some good high school football, right here in our backyard. We don't have to go on ESPN2 and watch it or, pay any money. We just hang out at our place and get to check it out.
Yeah, that
According
East
to
St.
the
Louis
preseason
team.
rankings, well, I was going to say real quick, according to the preseason rankings, there's 3 of the top 10 teams in the country that'll be playing on that Thursday. So that's pretty amazing to get 3 of the top 10 teams in the country all together at the same venue.
That's
so
pretty
Ocean
cool.
City and what other 2 teams, Coach?
Well, but you don't need any others.
That is true. That
First
is
team, I
true.
believe, is got Holy Spirit, local team out of Absecon, and then the Northern Highlands, I believe, is that first game. Coach Smith, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep, that's correct.
Right.
Nice.
There's
And
going to be some
how long-
some good football on Thursday.
What year is it for Battle of the Beach here at Cary Stadium? Because this is relatively new, isn't it?
5th year. It's our 5th year.
Wow.
And, it really started just as Collingswood High School had booked a game against a team from California because the head coach of Collingswood had gone to high school with the head coach of this California team, and this California team was looking to travel, and they were willing to come to New Jersey to play. And the Collingswood coach said, rather than have them come play at our high school, which was undergoing some field renovations at the time, he said, let me see if I can find a cool spot. And ultimately, he reached out to Ocean City, and they said they'd lease him the field. But then that was the COVID year, and that plan got ruined by COVID. But it gave him a year to think bigger, and he thought to himself, let's see if we can put together an event. If Ocean City's willing to let us use the field, it's such an amazing venue. Let's see if we can put an event together that involves more than just one out-of-state team. And it's kind of grown from there. The 2021 was the first year. And now, as we were just saying, we're in year 5 and we've got 3 of the top 10 teams in the country here.
Wow.
That's
pretty
amazing.
That's awesome. And
Yeah,
it's pretty cool that our
I was
kids
gonna say
get to
that-
play on that stage. You know what I mean? Like, you get to be there, you get to play with those guys. Obviously, it's a great opportunity for them too, because I'm sure there's a lot of college scouts that are coming to watch some of these games, especially with 3 of the top 10 teams in the country there. It's an easy job for a scout.
Yeah, last year Belichick was here. Bill Belichick was here with Matt Patricia, his former defensive coordinator. The North Carolina staff will be here this year.
Did Jordan make it?
Michael? Is Michael coming? I don't know, man.
No,
Oh, the girlfriend. The girlfriend. Oh, sorry.
Come on, man.
Well, when you say North Carolina and Jordan, I think Michael Jordan, but you guys obviously like the 24-year-old girlfriend.
He's catching Marlin and AC. He ain't worried about the Battle of the Beach.
That's right. That's right.
It would be pretty cool if he stopped by, though. That would be amazing.
I'm looking forward to the East St. Louis, watching that East St. Louis team. I've heard a lot of really good things about that program. There are going to be some great games. Let's talk about your game. What are you looking forward to? What can we expect from Oakcrest? And what can we expect from the 2025 Ocean City Red Raiders?
Yeah, so the scoreboard hasn't been on all summer. So we've had a great summer, great attendance, great participation. Kids are focused. They're there doing all the right things. Great group of kids working hard for each other. It's been a great camp. We've been healthy for the most part. We got some kids dinged up here or there. Nothing, nothing too serious at the moment. And then, you get to your scrimmages, and, you want to get out of those scrimmages healthy. And then most importantly, you want to figure out, who you are and what's your identity going to be. As real as those scrimmages can be, there's still no scoreboard. So we really haven't seen the consequences of a mistake. And, it's different when you make a mistake in a scrimmage, because you can pat the kid on the butt and say, hey, it's okay, Johnny. We're going to get it right. We'll get it fixed. And, next time it'll be okay. But, next Thursday, if Johnny makes that same mistake, it could cost us a football game. So, I'm looking forward to see, how we respond to adversity. Because in football, at any point, in any game, doesn't matter who your opponent is, you're going to experience some adversity. So, I think we have a good, feel of what our kids are capable of. And everybody's feeling good about themselves at this point in the season. Everybody's undefeated. Everybody thinks they can go win a state title. But those teams that get better as the season goes on. They have the right mindset. They're purpose driven, and they respond to adversity well. Those are the teams usually standing towards the end. So I'm looking forward to see how we develop as a team, how we develop as individuals, and what can we do when adversity hits, and how are we going to respond to those difficult times? Because it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows this year. So we're going to have to get through some tough things.
Awesome. And then, offensively, Coach Smith, you have the luxury of returning somewhat of a sophomore that got some good experience as a freshman at quarterback. You got two running backs that returned, one that runs really hard, one that's pretty shifty. What can we expect out of that unit there?
Yeah, the quarterback's a special kid. I mean, just to be able to get into the lineup as a freshman led us to a playoff victory last year as a freshman. And then he's matured incredibly in the offseason, one of the hardest workers in the weight room, and he's a natural leader. So we're excited, obviously, about him. And then Tristan Schmidt, our running back, had over 600 rushing yards last year, and he looks like a kid who's going to be able to step in on day one and be one of the better running backs in the area. The skill guys are great, but man, football is a sport that starts up front. So we lost some pretty good linemen to from last year's class to graduation. So we were really happy with the play of our offensive line in our first scrimmage on Monday, but that's a group that was some new pieces in there is going to have to develop. So it's a great group of kids, though. I mean, Coach Matthews would be the first one to tell you, and he's done a phenomenal job this off season of bringing this team together. The transition from me as head coach to him as head coach has been made easy by the fact that he really worked hard with them in the offseason on character development, on leadership skills. He started a leadership council, which was a great idea. That's allowed these kids to take ownership in the program, really voice their concerns, and really talk to one another as young men, not just about football, but about life in general. So it feels like a tight squad. It feels like a group that's got a lot of cohesion and is really going to pull for one another. And that's, a factor of some of the things that Sean did with them in the offseason. And so we're hoping that, if the O-line develops, the quarterback plays to his abilities, and the running backs are who they are, it should be a pretty good unit.
Who's sharing time with Tristan in the backfield this year, Kevin?
We got a couple young guys, a sophomore named Cole Gareffi, who stepped up from the freshman team, and he's a pretty good, tough inside runner. A junior named Anthony DiLorenzo. He missed his sophomore year with an injury, and he's back this year and is running the ball hard. And then a guy you two know pretty well, Samir Kelly. We moved him to running back from wide receiver, and he showed some flashes in our scrimmage on Monday. So, 3 out of those 4 guys are underclassmen. Tristan will be the workhorse, but we feel confident that those other guys can step in and do some good things when they're called upon.
I saw Sammy just, a week ago, actually at the red and white. It looks like he spent some time in the weight room over the winter.
Yeah, I'll speak on that real quick, Coach. I mean, Samir is a kid who's, he doesn't miss anything. He's at all the lifts. We did our winter weight room competition. He had a lower body injury at the time, so he couldn't do the deadlift. But I mean, on a good day, Samir weighs 160 pounds, and he bench pressed 245 pounds for a solid single.
Wow.
I work with the winter track program and the spring track program at the high school, and he ran spring track this year. We got the kids running 40s pretty often. I mean, he's consistently the top, 40 times speed time, for our guys throughout the summer, and he's progressing really, really well. So we're excited about basically him as a running back falling into our lap. Coach Smith made that suggestion, like, hey, let's get Samir back in the backfield and see what he can do, and it's really worked out well for the team.
Good. I'll be rooting for Samir. I hope he works out as well at running back as his older brother Nas worked out at corner. His senior year, he was a lockdown corner.
Yeah, he was. I think people just looked at him and they were just scared to throw the ball at him because, he was 6'2". He had those long arms, and he could flip his hips really, really well. And he had a great senior season. He had horrible knee injury his junior year, and he missed that, and he was like really coming along, making strides in the right direction, and we were finding ways to get him on the field, and then unfortunately got injured. But Nas, great kid, would love to have a million of him. And then Samir, man, same deal, very, very quiet, self-spoken kid, and he works when nobody's looking.
Good to hear it.
So the question is, how do we get tickets to Battle at the Beach? Does that go through OCHS High School, or is that a separate website where we go and buy those tickets, just so people that want to come down, if you're in the area and you want to see some high quality high school football, how can we go about getting to check that out?
Yeah, honestly, you know what the easiest way to do it is? You just Google Battle at the Beach Ocean City tickets, and then the link will come right up, because I don't know off the top of my head what the actual link is, but you have to buy them online. And it says that they don't sell tickets at the gate. They're not going to turn you away if you have a smartphone with you at the gate. But the easiest way is just Google it, Battle at the Beach Ocean City tickets, and the link will come right up.
So that's even for members of the Raider Nation and everybody. You got to buy those tickets that way, correct?
Yeah, and I will say this real quick: if you buy them online, when the games come up, it'll show all 4 games that are listed. Click on the Ocean City game, because one ticket gets you into all 4 games that day. But if you click our link, it'll register as a ticket sold by Ocean City, and that's just something that they use to track who's bringing in the most fans. And obviously, we want the biggest crowd for our game.
Another cool thing too, like if you're 10 years old or younger, you're free. You know what I mean? So get the young kids wearing their football jerseys, and I think that's awesome. That's a credit to the West Jersey Football Coaches Association. Not charging young kids to go watch football. Getting as many young people as we can around this great game and promoting it in a positive way.
That's awesome.
I agree with you, Sean. That is how it should be.
Yeah. Well, everyone, the date's Thursday, the 27th, or the 28th, or is it Friday?
Thursday the 28th.
Thursday. Yep. I know
Thursday.
that because it's my wife's birthday. Shout out to my wife. Happy birthday, babe.
Oh, happy birthday.
I get a win.
Happy birthday. You're going to be, she'll be at Cary Stadium all day for her birthday. I'm sure she's thrilled.
Well, she'll be,
What a gift.
Is she still cheerleader coach, or did she retire too when you retired?
No, she's still helping out. She's like me. She's the assistant, but she's on staff. It's a family thing.
Yeah, there you go. So, little known fact, Coach Smith's wife is also was a cheerleading coach for a while, and now they both stepped away. So, yeah, they'll be there all day. Nothing she's not used to. So, well,
So I have another question for you guys. I don't remember the date, but the team from across the bridge is playing in Ocean City this year, and it's a 3:00 Friday game. How did that get scheduled?
So the issue that is happening all over, the country when it comes to football is officiating.
Referees. I assume that's what it was.
There's a lot of issues with the way those guys are being spoken to, the way they're treated, and they get out. So there's a wave of guys that were older that loved doing it, and they got to a point where they either got fed up or they were old enough to step away, and now we got a shortage of officials. So the West Jersey Football League assigns teams to either play a Thursday or Saturday slot on certain games, and our mainland game got slotted for a Thursday or a Saturday. We wanted to play Thursday. There is the Yom Kippur holiday, and the district, mainland school district is closed, so they're unable to play that day. I was pretty adamant on saying, we don't want to play Saturday. We offered to play Wednesday. That was a scheduling issue on their part. They couldn't make that work. And then, went to Mike Pellegrino and said, hey, are you opposed to playing this game at 3:00 on a Friday? And he said no. He said, if I can get officials, we'll do our best to make it happen. So, Mr. Pellegrino got on the phone, got the officials all squared away, and then, Mainland was able to make it work with their team as well. So that's where we're sitting. We're going to be Friday, 3:00. A little different atmosphere. Hopefully the kids just roll right out of last period and they come right out to the football field and watch the game. It'll be about 25 minutes before kickoff, and
That's
they
pretty
can
cool.
get a good solid seat. I know it's
I assumed if it was an officiating issue with scheduling. Dom, I think based on what Sean said, you should think about becoming an official. I mean, you're used to people talking to you like that, so
This is true. I deal with
wouldn't hurt
you
your feelings.
on a daily basis, so we'd be good. Well, listen, I know there's one thing that you guys don't have to worry about this year, and that's the chain crew, because Drew and I are going to hold it down like we do every year. We never have a problem with the officials, so we'll keep them coming back for you. But, gentlemen, we really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. We know you're both busy. Well, you not so much, Coach Smith, but Coach Matthews, I know you got your hands full. So we appreciate it. Again, if you want to go see the Battle at the Beach Thursday, August 28th, Google Battle by the Beach Ocean City tickets. We'll put a link to in our descriptions on YouTube and Spotify. So if you want to click that and get some tickets, you can do that. Check it out. 3 of the top 10 teams in the nation. And, most importantly, the most beloved team in the land, the Ocean City Junior Raiders, will be there. So thanks, gentlemen. We appreciate it. For everyone listening, this has been the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resort. Peace out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Peace out.